Taylor had been brushing off the changes in her body for weeks. Fatigue, nausea, and a strange heaviness she hadn't felt in years. She chalked it up to stress, the whirlwind of her life always circling around Ridge, Brooke, Steffi, and Thomas. But something inside told her it wasn't just stress. When the symptoms grew too persistent to ignore, she finally allowed Finn to run some tests. It was supposed to be a routine consultation, one more checkup in a lifetime of them. But as the ultrasound screen flickered to life, Finn's expression shifted. His professional calm faltered, and for a moment he was simply stunned. The image was clear, a gestational sac. The earliest sign of pregnancy. Finn hesitated, trying to find the words. "Taylor, this means you're pregnant." His tone was gentle, but the weight of his words sent shockwaves through the room. Taylor's eyes widened. She froze, her breath catching in her throat as if the world had stopped spinning. Pregnant? At her stage in life? The thought seemed impossible, and yet the proof was right there on the screen. And then came Ridge. He entered just in time to hear Finn's explanation, and what he saw on the monitor nearly knocked him off his feet. For a moment he thought it had to be a mistake, some kind of medical error. But Finn's words confirmed it. That tiny, undeniable image was real. Ridge's shock exploded into raw emotion. His voice boomed through the hospital room, laced with disbelief, fear, and anger all at once. "That's a gestational sac? Taylor's pregnant." The words echoed, the kind of yell that wasn't just about shock but about everything bubbling beneath the surface. His love triangle with Brooke, his unresolved feelings for Taylor, his constant battle to choose between two women who define his life. Finn, ever the steady presence, tried to keep the situation grounded. "Ridge, I know this is unexpected, but it's medically clear. This is very early pregnancy, but it's real." But Ridge wasn't hearing calm explanations. He turned on Finn as if Finn were somehow responsible for delivering news that tore apart the fragile balance of his world. His questions flew in rapid fire, almost irrational. Was it safe? Was Taylor healthy enough for this? What would this mean for their future? Taylor sat in silence, her face pale, her mind racing with conflicting emotions. A part of her was terrified. She hadn't planned for this, never imagined it could happen at this point in her life. Another part of her, though, felt a spark of something she hadn't let herself feel in years: possibility. A child, a new beginning, a deeper bond with Ridge. But the weight of the reality pressed on her chest too heavily to embrace that spark fully. Ridge's shouting wasn't just about shock, it was about fear of being forced into a decision he had been running from for years. His life has always been split between Brooke and Taylor, each representing a different kind of love. But this pregnancy changed everything. A baby wasn't just about love, it was responsibility, permanence, a tie that could never be undone. The aftermath of this revelation rippled almost immediately. Ridge stormed out of the room, his face red with fury and confusion, needing air but leaving Taylor more vulnerable than ever. Finn stayed back, reassuring Taylor that her health would be his top priority and that they would take this step by step. Taylor nodded silently, tears rolling down her cheeks, torn between joy, terror, and the crushing uncertainty of what Ridge's reaction meant. When Ridge returned home, his outburst spilled over in front of Steffi. He couldn't contain it. He told her point blank that Taylor was pregnant. Steffi's reaction was a mix of shock and tentative hope. Part of her thought this could finally be the thing that brought her parents back together permanently. "Dad, maybe this is fate. Maybe this is the universe telling you and Mom you belong together," she said, her eyes lighting up with possibility. But Ridge wasn't so sure. His feelings for Brooke hadn't vanished. The guilt pressed heavily on him. If he embraced this new child with Taylor, would he be betraying Brooke once again? If he stayed with Brooke, would he be abandoning Taylor at the most vulnerable moment of her life? Ridge, always a man torn between two loves, now faced the most impossible choice yet. Meanwhile, Thomas got the news in his own way. He was protective, proud, and oddly excited. He saw the pregnancy as a fresh start for Taylor, a chance for Ridge to finally commit fully to their family. But Brooke's eventual reaction would be the true powder keg. When she learns the truth, her devastation and anger will unleash a storm across Los Angeles. Brooke has always seen Taylor as her rival, and the idea of Taylor carrying Ridge's child, after all these years, cuts like the deepest betrayal. This pregnancy twist isn't just about Taylor's shocking condition. It's about everything it symbolizes. For Ridge, it represents responsibility and permanence in a way that forces him to confront the indecision he's lived in for decades. For Taylor, it's both a terrifying challenge and a glimmer of hope for the family she has always wanted. For Steffi and Thomas, it reignites their dream of seeing their parents reunited once and for all. And for Brooke, it threatens to tear down everything she has fought to preserve with Ridge.